back to Gisda 5 Minutes Sabbath School Summary. This week, our Sabbath School lesson title is Oppresion, the Background, and the Birth of Moses. And our memory text taken from Exodus 2, verse 23 until 25. The children of Israel groaned because of the bondage, and they cried out, and their cry came up to God because of the bondage. So God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God acknowledged them. The book of Exodus speaks to the existential battles of life and to the injustice and trials that are part of this life. Everyone can be encouraged by the stories of God's intervention in favor of his suffering people. God hears the cry of the oppressed, sees their struggles, notes their tears, and in their agony comes to help. Here are some questions to broaden our understanding of this lesson. The first one, why did God allow the Hebrews to live in Egypt and be oppressed? Why did it take so long for God to intervene on their behalf? First, let's remember that the Hebrews' presence in Egypt began not as a slavery, but as a divine invitation for their survival amidst a great famine. However, over time, circumstances changed, the Hebrews multiplied greatly, and as recorded in Exodus 1 verse 8, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. The oppression began, and it was part of God testing and purifying of his people's faith. God permitted this oppression to come upon his people for a reason greater than the suffering itself. It was part of the divine education to mold their character, to separate them from worldly customs, and to make them realize their absolute need of Him. That long period was also a time of preparation for Israel to become an independent nation, ready to receive God's law at Sinai. They needed to learn about patience, obedience, and most importantly, about the faithful God who heard their cry. The spirit of prophecy reminds us delay is not denial. Sometimes God differs to answer our prayers, to test our faith, and to show us our absolute dependence on Him. The second question is dwell more on the question regarding how God was able to use Moses' hot-headed act killing the Egyptian. Suppose he hadn't done it, would that have meant the Hebrews would not have eventually escaped from Egypt? Moses' act of killing the Egyptian was indeed a hot-headed, premature act of self-reliance, born of misguided zeal to deliver his people without divine leading. It was a sin, a human error, and not God's ideal plan. However, God, in His infinite wisdom and sovereignty, used this very transgression to accomplish His ultimate purpose. This act led Moses into 40 years of exile in Midian. During this time, God worked a profound transformation in Moses' character. He was stripped of his self-sufficiency, his impulsiveness, and his Egyptian pride, being molded into the humble, patient, and completely God-dependent leader that was essential for leading millions of rebellious people through the wilderness, and this period of discipline was crucial preparation. The story of Exodus is powerful promise to all of us who might feel oppressed, marginalized, or hopeless in this life. The same God who saw Israel's tears, who heard their cries, and who intervened to deliver them from Egyptian bondage, is the same God who sees and hears us today. So see you at this dot at Sabbath School discussion, and God bless.